A man has been jailed for at least 40 years after being convicted of murdering a 14-year-old schoolboy with a samurai sword during a 20-minute rampage in East London. Marcus Monzo fatally wounded Daniel Ajaran minutes after the schoolboy left his home in Hainault on the 30th of April last year. The 37-year-old also injured 5 more people, including 2 police officers. Passing sentence at the Old Bailey, Judge Mr. Justice Benathan said Monzo inflicted an unsurvivable wound on Daniel. Speaking after the hearing, Daniel's family said they felt justice had been served. Grace and Dr. Ebenezer Ajaran said, "This has been a painful and traumatic chapter in our lives. No verdict or sentence will bring back our son Daniel, who we loved so dearly. Daniel was taken from us in a way that no family should ever have to endure. His life had such much potential ahead. He was gifted academically, was kind, and had a generous spirit that touched everyone who knew him. We carry that light with us, even in this dark time." At the Old Bailey, the judge told Monzo, "Your choosing to consume cannabis over months and days was the dominant cause of your state that day. You had some warning of its adverse effect on you. You knew it made you paranoid and at least led to panic attacks. Due to time already served and other mitigating factors, such as previous good character, Monzo was ordered to serve a minimum term of 38 years and 309 days. Monzo was found guilty by jurors at the Old Bailey of murdering the Woodford Green schoolboy. Monzo, a Brazilian Spanish national, was also convicted of attempting to murder local residents Donato Iwul and Cindy Arias, as well as PC Yasmin Measham Whitfield, in a 20-minute rampage last April. He was convicted of wounding with intent against Inspector Malloy Campbell and Miss Arias' husband, Henry de los Rios Polonia. Body-worn camera footage from the police was played to the court, showed officers trying to disarm Monzo and suffering serious injuries as a result. Witnesses described the former Amazon delivery driver screaming in delight and smiling after fatally wounding Daniel, who had been walking to school in his PE kit, wearing his headphones. During the trial, prosecutor Tom Little, KC, told jurors it was miraculous that more people were not killed as Monzo slashed and chopped at whoever came across over the next 20 minutes. In the few hours before his rampage on the 30th of April last year, Monzo had also killed and skinned his pet cat, Wizard. PC Measham Whitfield was hit 3 times with a 60-centimetre long blade with extreme force as he chased Monzo through the alleyways and residential properties. Next, he entered a property and attacked a couple who were sleeping in an upstairs bedroom with their young daughter nearby. Monzo demanded to know if they believed in God before he left the property. Inspector Campbell told the BBC how he tried to detain Monzo in a car park and received a slash wound to his hand. Monzo then climbed onto the roof of a garage before he was finally apprehended. Following his arrest, Monzo claimed his personality had switched and that something happened like a game happening. Monzo likened the events to the Hollywood film The Hunger Games and claimed to have an alternative persona of a professional assassin. Given evidence at his trial, he said he had no memory of what happened and claimed his mental state had diminished his responsibility for the crimes. This is what the judge said in the case.
I must impose for the murder of Daniel Anjorin will also have a minimum term that you must serve before the parole board can consider whether it's safe to release you on licence. They may decide that time will never come in your case. The two issues I have had to grapple with are how much should I increase the minimum term to address the other offending, and how much should I then reduce that term to reflect the mitigation of previous good character and, above all, your psychotic state on the day. I have asked myself what minimum term would I have imposed on someone who had committed all these offences when they were in their right mind. The sort of figure I would have arrived at to reflect 3 attempted murders and 2 woundings with intent with 2 police officer victims would lead to a term of perhaps 50 years. Though in fact I would probably instead have regard to paragraph 8 of the schedule and conclude the mass of aggravation of the other offences would lead to a whole life order. On the basis that a person who had committed all the dreadful offences of the 30th of April last year would attract a minimum term of the order of 50 years, I reduce the term I impose on you by a fifth to recognise your mental ill health and previous good character to 40 years. From that, I have to deduct the number of days already served. Therefore, the sentence I pass for count 2, the murder of Daniel Anjorin, is life imprisonment with a minimum term of 38 years and 309.
Prosecutors argued that psychosis brought on by self-induced intoxication was no defence for murder, even though Monzo admitted he had drunk an hallucinogenic tea called ayahuasca. No trace of DMT, the Class A drug in the drink, was detected in his system. A victim impact statement on behalf of Daniel's father was read out in court before the sentence was passed. Recalling the morning Daniel was killed, Dr. Anjorin said his son left for school at 7 a.m. and 15 minutes later he was told Daniel had been stabbed. I ran outside the house just across the road. I saw a hunched up body by the side of the road, Dr. Anjorin said. I did not realise that it was Daniel at first, but as I got closer I recognised the school sports clothes and saw his face. He was lying in a pool of blood and had a deep cut to his face, running from the side of his mouth to the back of his neck. He was motionless. I knew at once that he was dead, but I reached down to call his name and held his head. The court also heard statements from Inspector Campbell, Mr. De Los Rios Polonia, and PC Measham Whitfield, Mr. De Los Rios Polonia, who had tried to shield his family after Monzo burst into their home, told the BBC he had spent the last year unable to work, just trying to recover. All I can say is, I'm surviving, he said. Please like this video, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.